and apologies for the slight delay in the event. But hello, welcome to the first session of the South Yorkshire BCS Branch branch events starting today of September. I'm Andy Short and I'm the chair of the South Yorkshire BCS Branch, and we have a great lineup of events for you for this coming year. We have Holly Grace Williams for our October event, plus our AGM, who's going to do a really cool talk on cybersecurity. We've got Shahzad Sghari, who's going to do a talk about digital forensics in November. And hopefully in December, we'll have another online sort of Star Pub quiz like we did last year, which is really fun. So we've got some good events, and we're planning some events for 2022 as well. Hopefully, the situation improving, we'll be able to go back to some face-to-face events as well where possible. But for the rest of this year, we're staying online events just to sort of stay on the safe side. So, firstly, I would like to say, welcome you to Ashley from the BCS. So Ashley is the key account manager at BCS, started with the business development executive, and he's going to do a talk tonight about the benefits of organisational membership and academic membership as well. So Ashley, without further ado, the virtual floor is yours.
Hello, can you
and if you have questions as well, please enter them into the chat as well, and we could ask and discuss after Ashley's spoken as well. So yeah, Ashley, the floor is
Fantastic.
Yours.
Can you see my screen? Am I showing the right screen, or can you see all my notes? Because that'd be a bit awkward.
Yes,
if
can do, yeah.
You can see my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I need to change that. Bear with me. Don't want that to be screen one. I want that to be screen one. Is that changed around now?
Not yet, no. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's changed around now. It's changed around now.
You can see the presentation and not my notes. That's good.
Yeah, I can see the presentation, not my notes. Yeah.
Cool. I can't see any of the chat or any of people's videos. So if you have any questions, please put them in chat. So I'm Ashley Larkin. I'm a key account manager at BCS. I've been with the company for just over 3 years. As Andy said, I started off as a business development executive, and now I'm a key account manager. So I work and look after some of our organizations and our universities. So the plan tonight is I'm going to talk you through some of the benefits of BCS membership. I'm not sure who's a member and who isn't, so hopefully it's not teaching you all to suck eggs if you are a member, and if you're not a member, hopefully it explains the benefits of becoming a member. From there, I'm going to talk about how we then work with organizations through membership, and a new initiative of how we work with universities called academic membership. So we are the Chartered Institute for IT. We have a royal charter, and its purpose is setting and maintaining standards of professional conduct within our IT industry. When you become a BCS member, you sign up to a code of conduct, and this is all about demonstrating your commitment to accepting your professional duty. Becoming a part of a professional body is it's about underlining your commitment to ethics and standards. And once you become part of this BCS community, you join a lot of different members and different groups. So we have over 60,000 different members across 155 countries and 50 regional branches, including this brilliant branch that I'm speaking at today. We also have 40 different student chapters and 11 different international sections and 50 specialist interest groups. And they can range from anything from cybersecurity to blockchain to women in IT. And there's lots of interesting things to get involved with, because being part of a membership body is all about being part of that wider community. And being part of this community, we have lots of initiatives that we focus on. This year, we're focusing on the importance of data and health as we do lots of work within the NHS. When you become a BCS member, you have access to all these amazing different tools and services that you have access to. So you have access to Springboard, which is a bite-sized e-learning module. You'll have access to a mentoring network, which sort of works like a dating app. You put in what you're looking to be matched with. So maybe you want to learn about digital media, and then much like a dating app, we match you, and then whatever happens then is up to you, but hopefully sort of sharing of knowledge and expertise. And as part of this, it's all there to sort of guide you throughout your career. So we have things like personal assessments and career pathway assessments. There is an interview simulator advice. And also you have access to browse SFIAplus, which I'll come into a little later. And by being part of a member is great, but what you really want to do is try and stand out even further. So that's where our professional registrations and standards come into it. So if you're at the beginning of your IT career, you want to look at something called RIT Tech. So this is the Register of IT Technicians. This is about those who are working at a higher level, have hands-on technical skills and perform a range of activities that are sometimes complex and non-routine. This is a way of standing out in the profession. Next up, you may want to look at becoming chartered. Now, becoming a chartered IT professional is like being chartered with anything else. What we're looking for here is someone who is a T-shaped professional. So we're looking at someone who can show a level of strength and depth within their specialism. And if you work in the health sector, we have the Federation for Informatic Professionals, or as you know, it's a bit of a mouthful, FedIP. Now, these are all our professional standards that we've put together, but by being a BCS member, you also have access to different standards. So we work with the Engineering Council. So you could go through EngTech or iEng or CEng, and these have different standards according to the Engineering Council and different sort of requirements. And being part of a BCS member, everything we do is aligned to the SFIA framework. So your membership grade of AMBCS, so that would be someone who has 1+ years experience in the industry, MBCS or 5+ years, and then you have fellows, someone who is working at a real eminent level. And as you can see here, all our professional standards are sort of benchmarked onto the membership levels, and they align loosely with the professional certification level of foundation, the practitioner, and higher. But more importantly, these align to the SFIA levels. What is SFIA, I hear you ask? So this is the skills framework for the information age. It's a globally recognized IT framework, and it's government backed as best practice to assess and develop IT skills. And the SFIA framework is adopted by over 2,500 organizations worldwide. So this really is the standard framework for IT skills. It is a 2D matrix. It has 102 different skills and 7 responsibility levels. These levels are written across the levels of level 1, someone who would follow, all the way to level 3, apply, 5, ensure and advise, and 7, set strategy, inspire and mobilize. But as a BCS member, you have access to SFIAplus. So SFIAplus brings that sort of granular detail to a skill level. So if we look at an area of the framework here, so this is what the SFIA framework looks like. We dive into it in a little bit more depth. You can see that we have all these different skills. There's up to 7 levels with all of them. None of them exist across all 7 levels because each skill level has to have a certain level of depth to it. But what SFIAplus does is it breaks that skill down, where in SFIA there is a broad statement. I'm a BA at level 3, I'm expected to operate at this level. SFIAplus, which as a member you have access to, breaks that down into actual quantifiable elements. So what does that really mean? If I'm in data visualization at level 4, what work activities would I expect to have? What different knowledge and skills? What training activities and what qualifications? So that's membership in a nutshell, which I imagine some of you are memberships. But what we do with membership is we work with organizations on a large scale. So when you're an organizational member with a company, you will have access to a number of those chartered applications or RIT Tech applications as part of this. And what we're really trying to do with an organization is foster a community around self-development and care around ethics and IT. We also really engage quite highly with the organisations we work with. So we'll put on standard applications or webinars or workshops to work with those organisations to help individuals go through that process. We'll also have speaker opportunities. Now, those are speakers both internally to the organisations that we'll bring in, but also opportunities for the members within that organisation to go in to speak at BCS events and things like that. We also have judging invites to the UK IT Award, which is the most prestigious award within the IT profession. And you'll share knowledge with our other OM clients. We have over 200 different OM clients across all different sectors. So we work with organisations within the NHS. We work quite highly closely with. We also work with internal and centralised government. We're also very prevalent with private industries, some of which I can tell you about, some of which I can't. But they fare from small tech startups to massive blue chip companies. We also offer our organisational members the chance to be published in our IT Now and EPCS articles, which as a member you have access to and we send to you. We also invite you to exclusive events specifically for organisational members. Now, being an organisational member is incredible because you are making a commitment to your staff that you care about their development, and it's also a give back. But there is a way you can stand out even further, and this is what our highly approved organisations work. There's a new initiative called an approved organisation status, which can really elevate your status as an organisation from just being a BCS organisational member. This includes increased recognition and public awareness via the BCS Public Register. You can have promotional assets to use on your website, as you can see this very shiny gold badge or this even shinier platinum badge. You have the first call to get involved with policy and speaking opportunities. You have extra standards and engagement workshops to help promote more wide within your organisation. Because what we're asking for to become an approved organisation is we need to see a commitment from that organisation that they have a certain number of those staff going through those professional standards and raising the whole level of professionalism within their organisation. It comes with a lot of other benefits. So there's content and advertorial opportunities on the BCS Content Hub and IT Now magazine. There's even more increased discounts for staff in the acclaimed BCS Bookshop. And we'll really work with you on a one-to-one level to try and raise that level of professionalism that you have. Finally, I'd like to talk to you about BCS academic membership. So we've always had relationships with universities, but that used to be a sort of disparate relationship where a university would pay for their students to have membership. In return, BCS would provide a level of discount, but that's sort of as far as it went. So what we did is we reviewed that process back, which now seems like decades ago, but was just before the pandemic, and looked at how we can really help work with the universities and justify the level of investment that we'd be asking for them to provide membership to their students. We went through a consultation period with universities that we work with and universities we don't. And the same thing kept coming back over and over again, how we can help them. Let's focus around employability and engagement with that university. Because it's all very well giving membership to a student, but if they don't understand the benefit of how they can make the most of membership and how it can help further their career and stand out within the IT profession, then there's not a lot of point. So we came up with the model of BCS academic membership. It is very similar to organizational membership, in which that an organization would pay for staff and they have access to standards of engagement and support. Whereas in this instance, those members would be students, and the support would be around developing their career and helping them get employed and get a job at the end of the day, as well as bringing in sort of activities that really resonate with them as students. So part of an academic membership scheme with a university, and at the bottom, we already have 16 universities signed up and are expecting to generate somewhere in the region of 6,000 new student members, because this growing opportunity for universities. We include staff membership as part of this because we feel it's very important that if the university is making a commitment to pay for students' members, we want to make sure that the staff that are around them and supporting them through their academic journey have the same access to the same membership benefits that those students have. And we really look to engage on a one-to-one basis with those universities we work with. So we will work with our network to bring in speaker opportunities. We'll look to bring in guest lecturers. We'll bring those industry connections, those organizations that we already work with. Then we have things like hackathons that we'll do on a one-to-one relationship with the university. And essentially, we're going to ask those universities that we work with, this is the suite of opportunities we have that we can engage with you as a university. What is it you're looking for us from your professional body? How can we help support you? Do you want to bring in someone from our specialist interest group around cybersecurity? Do you want to work and do a policy workshop with your students because of the connections we have with government and making decisions at government level? And then also because there's now this new network, which at the moment is 16 universities and we're hoping to grow over the next year, we want to bring in a cross-university conference and getting in all those students involved from those different universities and finding a way to bring that into a wider community, and then bringing that into the wider community within the organizations in that area, and then using the local branch in the area, which you're all members of. So we are looking to try and work with universities in the local area. We have student chapters and we have had them for a long time, but those who we work with on an academic membership will try and provide a real level of support. So the basics of an academic membership is we're going to talk to those universities saying, as BCS, as your professional body for IT, how can we support you? But it's all very well going to those lecturers and heads of course and saying what they would like. We want to work with the students. So by setting up a chapter, we'll have a one-to-one relationship with those students. Typically, that's off the back of a pre-existing student chapter. And what we look to do is then turn that into a computing society. And what we look to do is then turn that into a BCS affiliated student chapter. That means there's some funding available and support, and we'll look with them to sort of bring in different external speakers. We've done loads of student chapters over the year. From those images you can see on your screen, these are pre-COVID time, so everyone's a little bit close. But we've done things like for a pizza party, for a hackathon, we've taken students to CERN, we've sponsored different competitions and provided different prizes, because what we want to do is help support those students in what they want from their professional body. So in summary, if anyone is interested in everything I've said today, here's my email address. I mean, I'm really passionate about this. I didn't want to take up too much of your time with a long presentation. I really appreciate everyone who's attended this evening. And if you have any questions, I can take those now. If not, I'm happy to receive any emails. I will talk to anyone who wants to hear about this stuff. And I can't see if there's been any questions in the chat, but I'll stop sharing now and listen to any questions.
So, yeah, so there has been. Oops. Would help if I unmute myself. So yeah, there has been a few questions in the chat. One from Annie. So I'm a member. So is there an additional cost of the e-learning modules, etc., as on screen?
And good question. No, there's not. So they are all within the My BCS area within Springboard. You can access them right now if you wanted to. If you log into your My BCS area and then look for Springboard, you'll be able to do any of those e-learning modules that you wish.
And what kind of e-learning modules are there? Just out of interest.
Oh, loads of different stuff. So I did an e-learning module the other day of how to put on a better presentation. And most of them are focused around more soft skills than specific IT modules. So how I can be a better leader, how I can be a bit better manager, etc. And lots of things like that. So I can see the chat now. So I'm trying to sort of pick up the an OM client. Sorry, I'm using. That's a problem with the IT industry. We all use letter abbreviations for everything, but OM just simply stands for an organizational member. So these are typically companies that we work with as what we call an OM. To answer Paul's question, to transition from AMBCS to MBCS, if you're a organizational member, you can do that automatically. If you are a member off of your own back, you can do that in the My BCS area. If you have the experience level, which is 5+ years, and that can include any relevant degrees, there is an option to upgrade within the My BCS area. I think if you're a paying member, though, you have to pay the upgrade costs, which I think it's £92 for AMBCS and £149 for MBCS. So I believe you have to pay the difference, but I've mainly focused with organisations. Yeah, I can. Hi, Catherine. Oh, I put my email in the chat as well. Sorry, I realised I left it up there very short amount of time. Okay. I'll just email. I'm sorry. I'll just direct message that to Andy and not put it in the chat.
Oh yeah. Do you wish to put it in the chat or?
I've got it. There you go.
Okay.
So could I explain more about achieving the SFIAplus areas? Can you expand upon that, Catherine? Do you mean how you access SFIAplus, or do you mean how you can use SFIAplus?
Hi, yeah, because I'd had a look at it on the BCS website, and I just wasn't really sure how to go about achieving the different levels that are in there, and how do you use it?
Okay, so as a member, when you go, have you seen the My BCS, the SFIAplus area in My BCS, or just the SFIA framework on the website?
I think it was the plus, because I was logged in at the time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so essentially the way you should look at using SFIAplus is it's more of a referential tool, because and I wanted to add on this, but I thought it was, didn't have enough time, but I spoke quick and I thought is we use SFIAplus and work with organizations to help them create role profiles and understand overall capability. That is through our tool called Role Model, and provides individuals with a lot more of an interactivity so they can benchmark against a role that's been provided to them, and all that's built with SFIAplus. As an individual member, what you can do is look at the framework and look at the area you're working in, and use the language to understand where you sort of fit into in your career. There's so much data in there, so it's really worth just combing through and spending a little time on that. Anne's got her hand up.
I was going to add, in our organisation, I don't know about other big organisations, we use the SFIA levels to define job families, and then a lot of companies such as ours, they pool data on things like salaries, wages, pay and conditions.
Yeah.
So it's also used as just for information really. It's also used as a tool outside to benchmark pay. So I just thought I'd add that in for people's knowledge.
Yeah, it's interesting to say, because we work. So when we do a SFIAplus deployment, which is separate to organisational membership, and I wasn't sure I was going to speak about this today, we use pre-existing job roles and then align them to SFIAplus. Organisations then, like yours, often then align that to pay and things like that. The difference between SFIA and SFIAplus is a SFIA role will be based on a broad descriptor, whereas the SFIAplus role will be built on those granular sort of details and specific work activities. And then we can combine different things from different skill levels to make an overall job profile. And then we bring in custom components on top of that. So an organisation has a broad understanding of their overall capability, and those who work for that organisation have an understanding of what's expected of them, that role and other roles if they wish to progress both vertically and horizontally. Any other questions?
Does anybody have any further questions at this point at all?
Not as such. It's just we've had difficulty recruiting apprentices and graduates, and we've got BCS affiliation at a corporate level. Anyone who wants to join in the organisation can. And this is quite interesting. We would, considering all the press about lack of employment for graduates and apprentices, we were unable to fill those roles. So something like the university scheme would actually be quite beneficial, and to give them, although we promote BCS, we don't really promote the pathway. So I found that very interesting.
Do you mind me asking what organisation you work for, Anne? You're under no obligation to do so.
I work for IAG. BA used to be part of, well, BA is still part of IAG, but it incorporates more than British Airways now. It's British Airways, Iberia, Aer Lingus, and we're we're trying to grow the department, because like a lot of organisations, we term it a time bomb on our ages, because a lot of us are 50 plus, so we're trying to nurture the next generation.
Yeah, I think that could definitely feed into IG. I think I know who runs the relationship with IG. I know it's not me.
I know who it is from our side. I was just I know you recorded it and I put it in the chat. It'd be actually quite beneficial, that not to ask you necessarily any questions, but we can use it to refresh how we develop talent.
Definitely.
Or we may develop talent.
And I think, yeah, I think that SFIAplus is really good in that area, but also our relationship with universities could certainly help with some of the universities we're working with, because we really want to bring organisations, universities close together, especially if they're BCS affiliated, because we have all these organisational membership clients and we're growing our academic membership client base, that it makes sense to make sure that these all talk together and communicate. Oh, does BCS offer voucher/incentives for courses, perhaps through their associations with universities and college, perhaps? Not currently, but I know we offer training discount for any organisational membership partners to professional certifications and things like that. They're done through our sort of third-party training providers. But it's a good idea. Any more for any more?
I've got a question. So with student chapters,
yes,
I've been trying to set up one at Sheffield Hallam for quite a few years now, and I've worked with a few of the student engagement coordinators to try and set one up. To no avail. I'm going to try again this year. How would BCS work with the students, and what would be the incentive for the students to actually, set up a chapter and get the support from the BCS as well as their branch as well? Because I've said time and time again to different students that we're willing to work alongside them, but we have developed some working relationships over the years, which is good. But just trying to see, what the incentives are, why students would want to set up a student chapter with the BCS as well.
Yeah, so we have a new student engagement coordinator starting Monday, funnily enough.
That's good.
So I think the benefit for a student setting up a chapter is, one, you're going to get, first of all, you're going to get funding. It's free money. If you want to have support for your activities, then have BCS aligned to that. Become a chapter makes a lot of sense. Also, as mentioned, we have links to industry that are unique to different organisations, and I don't want to say be mad to, but I think it would be a mistake not to try and turn a society into something that's BCS affiliated, because ultimately BCS there just to support those students first and foremost. And Andy, with your case specifically, we'll take it offline and make sure that chapter gets set up soon.
Thank you.
Any more? And if anyone's watching this recording, please email me. My email is ashley.larkin@bcs.uk. Happy to talk about anything that's covered. I might have missed something about membership or organisational membership or academic membership.
Well, here.
Let's have a look. Is there a view to integrate BCS more into education? From what I've heard, it seems that it may be less grassroots and could benefit from clear alignment between the BCS framework and education, such as student exit universities and aligned degrees. Yeah, we thought highly about that. I think most of our so we have a new early years initiative, which is all focused around bringing students into membership at an earlier age. And we're also trying to sort of align more with universities. There's some stuff that's in the pipeline, which I can't really talk about now, but I guess watch this space is all I can say on that. But that's definitely been thought of. Don't worry.
Does anyone have any further questions at this point? So you've mentioned things like the mentoring tool,
Yeah.
the BCS jobs board, the RI Tech as well. So
Yeah.
what would be the benefits of things like RI Tech for people developing, starting out in the industry, and can it be tailored as well to specific areas, for example, cybersecurity, software development, artificial intelligence, for example?
Yes. Okay. So RIT Tech should be the first professional standard on your journey. You get to display the post-nominals that you are RIT Tech. You get to be on a professional register. And yeah, Andy, there are different specialisms, over 50 different specialisms that you can apply to becoming RIT Tech. The beautiful thing about a standard versus a certification is if you are operating at that level, achieving that standard isn't something that will be a challenge as such. If you are operating at SFIA level 3, which is what RIT Tech is benchmarked at, you just have to evidence it, essentially. And being able to display to your current employer or future employer that you're operating at that level, and then also have that further commitment to professionalism, really helps you stand out. If you're really earlier into your career, then being able to go to those interviews and saying I'm an RIT Tech BCS member, but it immediately shows that you care first and foremost about your professional development. So yeah, I think there's loads of benefits, and we have different specialisms everywhere. I can see another question in the chat. Is it possible for a member to obtain a mentor coach through the BCS portal or more directly? Yeah, that's what the whole mentoring network is all about. It's been recently refreshed because it did look a little dated. But if you go into the mentoring network as part of the My BCS portal, you'll have full access to that and become either a mentor or a mentee. The whole idea about it is not prescribed. It's about matching different people with different specialism. Create a dating profile and see who you match with.
Speaking of the mentoring tool, I've actually used it myself, and I've actually mentored a few professionals on that tool as well, from different walks of life as well. So mentoring them, helping them to be, for example, testers as well, giving them guidance and providing them with knowledge and resources and how they can actually develop their journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good tool. I've actually written about the mentoring tool as well, which I'll put in the chat now if you like, for the software testing magazine, The Tester. So I'll just put the link in the magazine for you now anyway.
That sounds great, and that's brilliant that you're mentoring. And I think that's what it's there for. It's to connect different people and for that mentee or mentee network. And it's really, if you're a student at a university, the chance of them being mentored by someone externally within industry gives you that early leap into what's expected of you once you work in the working world. And I think, directly speaking, if you're a student who's a BCS member, one of the key opportunities, I don't think I really expanded upon, is networking with individuals who are unlike those who you go to university with, because in the kindest terms, the people who you are studying with are very, very different to people you end up in a working relationship with. And BCS membership is a great opportunity to network with those different types of people.
I mean, as well, for students and in their careers as well, the mentoring scheme is like a gold mine. You can tap into a lot of knowledge as well, just from that as well, and that'll help build up your career and experience as well significantly. So I definitely recommend having a look. So I'm just putting the link for the magazine in now.
That sounds great.
So just bear with me. But have any of you that
does anyone else have any more questions? Thank you all for your questions so far. They've been really, really great.
So yeah, I'm just getting the link now. So this is a magazine which I actually publish myself at, which I actually write. and publish myself anyway. So yeah, I've just sent you a link now, and it's on page 28 of this fantastic best-selling readership in a few continents across the world. So it's got readership in the UK, Argentina, quite a number of countries as well. So here is, oops, hang on, I'll send it to you all. I do apologise.
No, just send it directly to me again.
Yep. So yeah, here's the link. Here's the link for the magazine with mentoring tool on page 28.
That's excellent. That's a really good question. I can see there. What are the advantages of those who achieve the highest levels through BCS? Level is an interesting terminology because I guess it depends how you're looking at that. One is operating at SFIA level 7, separate to membership, just means you're operating at a really high level in your career. You're very good at what you do. You're highly eminent. I think by achieving the highest level, becoming chartered or a fellow, it benchmarks you at minimum that standard. You have a industry standard to say, I am operating at this level. I have verification and proof that I am. But also I show the highest level of commitment to the profession and being an IT professional, because the IT profession has an issue where it doesn't see itself as a profession. You know, if you have a surveyor, you'd expect that person to be chartered. If you had an architect, you expect that person to be chartered, but an IT person doesn't. And if you look at the health industry, an informatician within health has every bit of responsibility as patients' lives as doctors do. So bringing a level of professionalism to those who handle data and huge patient records is incredibly important. So in a roundabout way, and not trying to sound too much like a politician and not answer the question, I think achieving the highest level for a BCS just shows a commitment to the profession, and being able to benchmark that and prove it, I think is a advantage. I'd certainly like to think so. Good question though.
So does anyone have any further questions at this point?
Type it or ask me or
yeah,
email me, whatever you want. I'm here till 7:30 either way. We don't have to continue this till 7:30 if we don't want to sit in silence asking random questions.
I mean it's a question to ask about joining, about sort of like what you can do, what BCS can do for you, and also what you can do for the BCS as well. So it's like a two-way sort of like conversation, two-way relationship.
Absolutely, I think being a BCS member is, similar to a gym membership. It's what you get out, what you put into it. There are all these tools and services available to you as a BCS member, but the way you're going to benefit the most is by engaging with it, by going to different events, by becoming a mentor, by going through the standards. Absolutely, the more you put into something like membership, the better. We run barefoot computing workshops and things like that. Those are the things you can get involved with as a BCS member. And if you want your organisation to be involved with it, the better, because what we can do then is create a real community within an organisation. And we'd want you to help input into that, as well as us saying, here's all this suite of things that we can provide for you. It's also about what you can provide to the profession, like any membership body. Cool. Any more questions?
So what is Basefoot, and how can we as sort of like branches and get involved with that to encourage more? I believe it's to teach, help children learn more about the program as well. So how can we as branches and as, say, student chapters encourage children to learn more about coding?
Yeah, it's all about coding and computational thought in early years, and training those teachers to be able to do that. There's lots of stuff on the membership area around barefoot computing. I'll share with those who attended the email address for our barefoot computing team. And yeah, it's all about give back to those who are, and help teachers to understand how easy it is to teach computational thought. So rather than sort of the nitty gritty of coding, focusing on cause and effect. So there's things like this face move this way is what makes this happen, and sort of teaching kids that that's the basics of coding. That's the basics of our profession. Thank you, Anne. Nice comment.
Welcome. I mean, I think as well with BCS, it's you get more out of it. You get out what you put in as well. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, I found being a BCS member has been beneficial as well. For example, getting involved with branches, getting involved with a specialist interest group in software testing. Now I get to write a magazine, which is something I've always wanted to do for a long time. So I've got to do that at least. But I've also spoken at different universities and different places around the UK as well, and done some online talks as well, which I thought was really interesting. I've actually got another talk on the 28th of September as well. So you get out what you put in. It's like any kind of membership, but you also interact with a lot of amazing people within the BCS as well, who you would have otherwise not been introduced to.
Yeah, definitely. If you work with an organisation, IT teams within companies can be fairly insular, and the opportunities that go out and socialise and network with those working in different industries and different sectors can help and give you a different point of view on projects and things, especially if you then combine that with working in a specialist interest group like you have with the one you work in.
Yeah. I mean, from my understanding, is there going to be sort of like a neurodiversity group being being created as well? Because I've actually put myself as being interested in getting more involved with that. But if there's anything which you care about as well, I mean, I'm planning on a project within the tech industry to promote mental health awareness as well. So with ideas like that, is it worth getting the BCS involved with that as well?
Absolutely. I think that those are the sort of things that BCS really, they're at the forefront of what we're trying to do. We're looking at diversity, representation and inclusivity is an incredible part, and that can take across a spectrum of different backgrounds. Cool. If there are any more questions, maybe we're done. But unless I'm here if anyone has any more questions.
Does anybody have any further questions at this point?
And if anyone's joined late, I understand the video from this presentation, you missed a cracker, but that's going to be sent round after the presentation. Is that right, Andy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the video will be sent round. Will be sent round soon.
Superb.
Awesome. So if we don't have any further questions at this point, I'm going to say you're welcome. I'm going to say
cheers, Paul.
Cheers, everyone, and thanks for attending our first South Yorkshire BCS meeting in September. So next month we have the amazing Holly Grace Williams, who's going to be doing a cracking talk about cybersecurity, plus our AGM as well for anyone who wants to attend that as well. But I'm also going to plan before the AGM a few sort of shout outs as well to sort of give thanks to some people who've made a difference as well. So that is on the that is going to be on the 21st of October at 6 p.m. The link will be on the LinkedIn profile, but I'll also put the link in this presentation as well. So so I'm just putting the link. I'm just going to put the link in the presentation for you now, so it's going to be a fascinating talk. It'll be great if you want to come. You're more than welcome to. Everybody else, if you know anybody who's interested, please also feel free pass on the details as well. In November, Shahzad Zagari is going to do a talk on digital forensics. We have a Christmas pub quiz in December, and we're planning some more events for 2022. All being well, and as long as the COVID situation is improving and we don't have another, in the unlikely event we have another lockdown, we'll hope to arrange some face-to-face events once it's safe to do so. We're also going to hopefully plan another face-to-face visit to Bletchley Park as well. So we did a really good event online back in June time, which was good. But hopefully we're going to plan to do an actual face-to-face event again as well. So we've got that to look forward to. But yeah. But thanks everyone for attending. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to contact me. Please see our LinkedIn page as well for details of our next event, which I'm going to put on shortly. And thanks very much for attending, and have a nice evening. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Have a great evening all.